Hello, my fellow champions of rights and choices. I'm going to take you through a tool developed by the United Nations Population Fund to help classify human rights recommendations of the Universal Periodic Review in relation with the agenda of the International Conference on Population and Development. This tool, which is here on your screen, and you will find the QR code popping up on your screens, is a tool that classifies a high volume of UPR recommendations. Let's consider that the Universal Periodic Review, we started working in 2008, has generated more than 120,000 recommendations as we speak. We see that on the right side of the screen. So hence the importance of classifying the recommendations in order to help different users, depending on their specific needs, to use this information for advocacy, programming purposes, or any other purpose they may have. On the right side, we will see that this tool classifies recommendations according to 4 main themes of the International Conference on Population and Development. Theme 1, sexual and reproductive health and rights. Theme 2, gender-based violence and harmful practices. Theme 3, sexual and reproductive health and gender-based violence in humanitarian situations. And Theme 4, which comprises 3 cross-cutting dimensions: action on international human rights instruments, recommendations related to financing of the ICPD agenda, and recommendations on population data. Additionally, the dashboard will allow to classify recommendations according to 16 population groups. We will see that later on. Here on the left side of the screen, you have a description of the tool. You just need to scroll down to get all the information on the Universal Periodic Review. If you're not familiarized completely with this mechanism, the agenda of the International Conference on Population and Development, and different functionalities that you can get by using this dashboard. Now we are now moving to the tabs below. The tabs below are the different indicators used for this dashboard and the visuals in terms of graphics that they generate. So I will start with the first tab, which is on trends by cycle and position. Here we can see how UPR recommendations have evolved over their 4 cycles of the UPR. Each cycle takes 4.5 years, which is the time needed by the UPR to review once all member states of the United Nations, 193 member states in total. We are at the end of the 4th cycle, which means that most of the states have been reviewed already 4 times since 2008. In colors, you will understand the position that states have adopted in relation to a recommendation they received. Red color means that they have noted a recommendation, or in other words, that they have not supported the recommendation. Green color means that they have supported the recommendation, and the yellow color indicates that the support has been partial, that maybe a concrete component of a recommendation was supported by another component was not. We move to the tab on sub-themes and positions. So the 4 main themes that I described before are then subdivided into sub-themes. For instance, if we take the first theme on sexual and reproductive health and rights, it will contain 7 sub-themes, from family planning and contraception, sub-theme 1.1, to sub-theme 1.7, generic references to sexual and reproductive health. So this graphic will help us understand the attention that has been given to each of the sub-themes within a particular theme. What we clearly get from this graphic is that the issue of gender-based violence, out of all the sub-themes, is the one that got more attention. If we move the cursor, we will see that the number of supported recommendations was close to 10,000. Now I move to the other tab on population groups and positions. As I said, this dashboard allows to classify information according to 16 population groups which are traditionally discriminated against, marginalized, or excluded from development processes. The one where we see more recommendation is the group of women and girls, followed by children, and then minorities, racial, ethnic, linguistic, religious minorities, or other groups. I move to the next tab, which provides information on each of the 4 themes expressed in a pie chart. In this particular case, we can understand the weight given to different subthemes within a theme in percentual terms, which can be very useful for different types of analysis. Now we move to the tab on the Sustainable Development Goals. As you know, there's 17 Sustainable Development Goals in total, and here we will see how UPR recommendations are distributed in relation to those 17 goals. For the ICPD agenda, in particular, the next step is paying particular attention to 2 goals and the targets within those goals. Goal 3 on health and Goal 5 on gender equality and empowerment of women and girls. The dashboard will also allow us to know which are the top countries making recommendations in the UPR and the top countries receiving recommendations. Then when we will filter this information by themes, sub-themes, we have a different ranking of countries, depending on each theme, of course. For that, we will use the filters that appear on the left side of the screen and that we will be explaining in more detail in other modules of this tool. Finally, I wanted to show you the top regions making and receiving recommendations in the UPR. So we are using for this graphic the 5 official UN regions. All this information in the last tab can be visualized, and the actual content of the recommendation is available for us to understand what the recommendation is about. And the country making the recommendation will appear in brackets. This information can be downloaded into an Express sheet using a CSV format. For that, we just need to go to the 3 dots on the top right side of the screen, click there to download the information. So this is what I can tell you about the dashboard as an introduction, and I thank you for your attention. I hope you subscribe for also the other modules we will be publishing. Thank you very much.